Hi Sagittarius, it's Jenny here with your January Tarot horoscope for the new year. So we're just going to be pulling a single card to see what is up for January. The first 2/3 of January is Capricorn season, and then we get to Aquarius just kind of towards the end of the month. And also happy belated birthday to all y'all. Hope it was a great time. I had a nice birthday myself. Let's see what's coming out here. Let's do that one. Okay, Sagittarius, what have we got? Ooh, we've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Yay, us. Look at this. So this is what the card looks like the right way up. So we have this circle, this wheel here, and in the top, it's kind of empty in these chambers, and in the bottom, it's got a bunch of little symbols in there all the way around, and then we've got all these different figures around it here. It came out like that, okay? So, let's see, Wheel of Fortune. Give me a minute. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Great resolution. If you submit yourself to the hands of fate, your individual life will be enriched with universal components, in effect doubling it. You only live twice. Do not exhaust your energy by simply trying to get by. Your life is meant to be much more than plain day-to-day survival or a heroic struggle for existence. The picture shows the zodiac, reminding us of a Ouija board. Outside the circle, 5 figures can be seen based on well-known depictions of the 4 evangelists, and also representing the 4 elements: earth, fire, air, and water. On top of the wheel, there is an Oriental man holding a scimitar. The disc in the middle is divided into 2 parts, indicating human consciousness and the unconscious mind. Both parts of the image complement each other, but differences are also apparent. The lower section is full of symbols and signs, while the upper areas are empty. This might suggest that the messages of the unconscious are conveyed through symbols alone. The Greek word symbol in a general sense means that which has been thrown together, an appropriate concept for this card. The wholeness of the self can only be achieved by uniting consciousness and the unconscious mind. If the individual is reconciled with his destiny, he will be in harmony with the world and experience synchronicity and resonance. Practical advice. You learn to work in harmony with your destiny by lovingly and critically accepting chance and correlations that are beyond your comprehension. Tarot constitutes an ideal training ground as it allows you to make use of coincidences. For the next 10 days, draw a card every day. Okay, Sagittarius. We've got some things going on. So major arcana cards, as this is, tend to be kind of more like larger overarching energies, kind of big themes that are not necessarily like just for a small window of time, and also not necessarily just you. This kind of sweeps up bigger things and sweeps kind of you up in kind of larger themes here. So the Wheel of Fortune here, especially when we're looking at the circle of the conscious and the unconscious mind, this kind of yin-yang sort of feeling of the halves of us that make a whole. And so there's looking at this union of duality. So yes, we can look at the duality of the conscious and unconscious mind, but there's other kinds of dualities that we can have as well, whether that's masculine, feminine energies, whether that's if you have perceptions of like light or dark, good or evil, concepts of, healthy, unhealthy, light, shadow, all those different kinds of terms of duality. We are not just one. We are not just our light side. We are not just our shadow side. We're not just our conscious mind. We're not just our dreams. We are somehow created in this union of these 2 things. But this is still, you're still an individual. So this isn't like subsuming of your duality into a oneness, or like, merging all of your parts so that you're not like, you're just like, this still has this feeling of duality, and that tension of duality is part of what makes you an individual and aware, instead of just being kind of one in the ether, whatever you might want, whatever your beliefs are on that sort of thing. So this is interesting though, with it being in reverse. When some people can read Wheel of Fortune, of course, as like great blessings, or just kind of like the lottery coming, all of the things that you've been working hard, this is now the blessings you're going to get. And Wheel of Fortune reversed can often mean a delay. It's not coming right now. But to me, what this is, I'm focusing in on, is more this sort of inverting of the conscious and unconscious mind. And suddenly we have the symbols on the top, and the conscious mind in the bottom. So there's this bringing up what is usually that more hidden and unconscious, or like, less tangible, like the world of visions and dreams is suddenly coming to the forefront, and it's coming to the conscious mind, and what is normally more rigid, fact-based, cognitive, rational, tangible, that's normally up top, flips and is suddenly kind of submerged in the bottom. So there's this topsy-turvy sort of sense. And what are you going to do about that? Are you going to try to flip it back so that you're focusing more on the rational, linear things again? Are you going to take this time to really see what's come up? What are these dreams, or what are the unconscious things? This might have to do with like examining in a very conscious way, like repressed feelings or triggers or emotions. We've definitely had the storyline kind of playing out since Scorpio season, brought up a bunch of kind of old fears or traumas or triggers or desires that we got to work on and face. Then Sagittarius season, we got to kind of shine the light of truth and try to gather what is our vision, what are our beliefs, what kind of vision do we want to have from all of these things that we've discovered that were kind of repressed. And then Capricorn season was like, let's make some goals in order to achieve that vision. How do we manifest the vision and bring it from the dream realm into the tangible? So we're still in that Capricorn vibe right now in terms of how are we going to manifest our vision? What was the vision that we got? And it gets the sense that this vision has to do with this switching things around. So again, this might be, we're looking at past traumas in a very conscious, tangible way, bringing it into the body. Capricorn is an earth sign, so it is about being in the body. So this might be, some of these goals might be more physically minded in terms of food, diet, exercise, rest, and trying to say, how can I deal with these things from the unconscious realm in my body, make my body safe and healthy in order to process it here. That might be what's a goal for some of you. This might also be about just the dream world or the imaginal realms as well, in terms of there's what we are told to believe about the fact-based reality, and then there's also that which we can dream and that which feels impossible until you dream it. And then once you have a dream and a vision, everything that used to be impossible that we now can achieve and is kind of, basic part of our day-to-day life was somebody else's dream of innovation, of how to make something that was impossible possible, and then they manifested it in some way. And so you can do that too. Maybe this kind of switch around is to say, bring to the forefront your vision of what you would like to be possible that seems impossible now. And then you ground that into the Capricorn energy at the beginning of this month and say, okay, hold the vision. Don't just have it be those dreams that you kind of dream when you've got time and then you just push back down again and don't worry about it. Bring that to the forefront. Make that the goal. As much as we live in our conscious cognitive realm, live in that dream world for a while, but grounded. And it's not just something that you get kind of lost in your illusions and you're bogged down and not really in touch with the real world. This is just to keep that guiding vision, and then you can ground it in that Capricorn practical goal setting, make it work in some way. So this is it's kind of interesting. And then this card is also suggesting that part of the ways in which you can play with those dream worlds, with the imaginal, the possible, is through symbols, is through suspending the belief in that the entire world has to fit into a rigid, scientific, peer-reviewed paradigm. That's an excellent way to achieve and categorize certain kinds of truth, and especially fact-based truth. But the scientific paradigm isn't going to work for dreams. It's not, you don't peer review and double-blind study a vision of a goal that you might have. There might be part of the steps to manifest might include really working with the tangible rules of society and the world as we know it, but you don't limit the dream part and that vision setting to that sort of thing. That's when you can play more with your belief systems, with synchronicities, with symbols, with fantasy, kind of touch into that child realm and think magically. When, people are so great at asking kids, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What are the dreams, the big dreams? And if you're fortunate as a kid, people didn't laugh at you when you had really big dreams. They encouraged it. But it's harder when people ask you that as an adult. They're asking more like in a practical way. Well, how can you do that? Well, all right, do you have the time? Do you have the money? Like, well, do you really want to? It doesn't make sense. And you often don't get supported in the childlike wonder of what is a dream. It's not supposed to be fact-based and possible yet at the dream stage. Later on, you can get to the practical. Can we manifest it? What are the issues? But trying to bring up this child dream of everything is possible and hold that, and then play with symbols, whether tarot or astrology is your symbols, whether you have other belief systems, whether some of you might really want to be like doing more dream work and tapping into seeing if you can kind of feel into what your dreams might be telling you. Even if this is not a standard practice, and even if this isn't your go-to of how you're going to like then bring your dreams into reality, you can still do that in a tangible kind of linear way if that's what you want. But this is a play stage. Just play. I don't usually bring like other transitory astrology into these readings, but I'm just gonna, for you Sagittarius, just because there is a pretty cool transit that is happening. So Sagittarius, each of these planets, of course, or each of our signs are ruled by a particular planet, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is just, I think, in like an hour from when I'm recording this or so, but definitely for this month is, and a few more months, is moving signs, is moving from Aquarius, where it's been for quite a while, and it's moving into Jupiter. It's moving into Pisces, the sign of Pisces. So Jupiter is moving into Pisces, and Pisces is the dream realm. Pisces is the oracle, the connection to the fantastic realms and illusions, and like very much not in the linear, rigid patterns. And so we're about to get this boost of your ruling planet of Jupiter is entering into a dream state where everything is possible. Eventually you'll need to sort through, if you're going to try to manifest any of these goals, you have to, don't just stay in the fantastic realms, but this really is, if this is a time where we want to invert this wheel and bring up this realm of unconscious and symbols and magic into the forefront, we're getting a really big boost in that. So now's the time to play with this, even if you've spent a long time in your rational mind, the cognitive kind of worldview, scientific, mechanistic worldview. That's fine if that's your MO. But this might be a really great chance just to play, to bring a bit of that child wonder back in while we're getting this kind of injection of energy there. So just as a thought. So the first 2/3 of January is going to be more of this, like, let's do some tangible goals. It's interesting that you get to have this injection of like playful vision at the same time of the manifesting Capricorn season of like, hold the vision and bring it into the body. Hold this possible realms of everything, and how can we make it possible? What are the steps? So you can kind of go either way on this. You could be like holding the vision and then planning steps towards it, or you might even be at the stage where you're going to just want to make tangible goals on how to even be a visionary. So these goals might be like, well, the card says, draw a tarot card for 10 days. That's a goal. That's a tangible Capricorn step that may help you access into some of that kind of more visionary state to find what your goals are and to find what the impossible dream might be. Or you might be wanting to set up a practice of meditation, or you just have conversations with friends kind of about these kinds of dreams. Or you're just going to set, like, for the next 21 days until Aquarius season, I'm going to like really be aware of any synchronicities or symbols and maybe journal them. Or great time to do a dream journal, since we're thinking about dreams and we're moving into that Jupiter and Pisces kind of time. If you just want to write a dream journal for all of the rest of Capricorn season, that will be a very Capricorn energy of goal setting pointed towards this more ethereal kind of realm. So you can kind of go either way with that, mix and match. And then when we hit Aquarius season, that's when like the light bulb goes on. Aquarius time is about innovation and the leap forward. And so this is where you kind of get this injection of, for some of you, this might be a really big, it might even feel kind of like this spiritual oracle sort of, oh my God, I had a vision. Or, you have this intense dream that really connects you to what your values and your vision is. or you just suddenly that symbol, that crazy symbol pops up and synchronicities are going crazy and that's leaping you forward. Whereas the first bit of the month just might feel like, is this working? Why am I writing a dream journal? I'm just sitting here in the dark with my eyes closed. I'm not meditating. Nothing's happening. It might just feel like that because it's incremental. You're more setting the routine and the pattern, and then the payout comes later. So I'll just encourage you that, towards the end of the month, you might start to feel more of this like, ooh, innovative jump forward, and feel kind of like liberated from the kind of dull restriction of feeling like this isn't working. Aquarius is also the sign of liberation. It's part of that quantum like jump forward, is that setting free. So you might find that you might feel like this relief, this sort of expansive freedom from what might otherwise feel really rigid, whether that's other people's beliefs on you and expectations, and that you're finally able to break free from that, whether some of this inverted kind of like heavy subconscious realm has to do with like more trauma based, and you're working on trying to free yourself from that. You may suddenly feel this release of, oh, I was actually able to let some of that go, and now I feel that freedom there that allows you to move forward towards your dreams. You're all going to feel this differently, but that turning point, that change of energy towards the end of the month, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to look different for all of us. So anything else I wanted to let you in on? Symbols, synchronicity, accepting chance and not having to approach things too rationally, and holding those dualities as well, because this isn't also a time where you have to like destroy your rational mind and ignore all structures that are placed on us or all values of society. The duality of tension is not that one of these, the circle isn't suddenly bigger on one half. It's not that one of them wins and the other is in submission. It is holding the tension of the duality, and you're just switching it around maybe a little bit. So I think I'll stop on that, otherwise I'll just keep going. So best of luck to you all this January and the new year, Sagittarius, and again, a happy belated birthday to all of you. Take care.